my dear students. Today's lesson is about set notation and language. Yes, it's a language. We use special symbols and we'll learn today how to use them. The set A is this set. The set B is that set. And this box, we call it the universal set, and there is a cursive letter E here at the corner up. And in order to write the elements of set A, we write them separated by commas, and we should write curly brackets at the beginning and the end. Not any brackets, curly brackets. The elements of A are only 5, C, D, E, F, and G. We write them in set A. The elements of set B, they are 6, F, G, J, M, H, and K. We can write them in any order, not necessarily to be alphabetical order. Now let's learn operations. The first operation we'll write here is A union B. It is the set of all elements in A and B. Say it. A union B. It is the set of all elements in A and B. If we are asked to shade it, it looks like the sunglasses. And you shade it with parallel lines like this. Now, to write the elements of A and B, it is A union B. Take care. If number of elements of A is 5 elements and number of elements of set B is 6 elements, does it mean that the union is having 5 plus 6, which is 11 elements? No, because F and G are repeated. Here is F and G are repeated. I can also notice F and G are mentioned in A and F and G are also mentioned in B. So when we start to write them in curly brackets, we write them like C, D, E, F, G, H, M, J, and K. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The next operation is A intersection B. A intersection B. What is this symbol? Union. It's a letter U. What is this symbol? It looks like an N. Intersection. It is the set of common elements in A and B. And we shaded. We mentioned before it is F and G, right? It looks like a convex lens. It is the set of common elements in A and B. Now, the third operation is the complement. We write it like A prime. A prime means everything outside A, but in the universal set. Make the borders of set A and start shading outside with inclined lines, parallel lines like this, like this, like this. Everything outside A, but in the universal set. Everything outside A, but in the universal set. Repeat. Everything outside A, but in the universal set. Now, another example for the complement. A union B, all complement. Shall we shade A union B, which looks like the sunglasses? No. You should cover the sunglasses with your hand and start shading outside it. And the same thing we did before. We need to shade A dash. You cover the set A with your hand and start shading outside it. Okay? Now A union B all dash will draw the borders of A union B like that and shade everything outside the union but in the universal set. Everything outside the union but in the universal set. Now let's write the elements of A dash. When you cover set A, you start reading everything outside it. H, M, J, K, and even Q and P. Curly brackets, don't forget, H, M, J, and K, and the elements outside it in the universal set, Q and P. About A union B all dash, there are only two, which are Q and P. Next, we'll learn two operations. Please don't mix them up. One of them is A intersection B dash, and the other one is A union B dash. They are completely different. A intersection B dash, we pronounce it like A but not B. 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 It means we need elements of A but cover B because we need nothing from B. Here is set A, and when you cover B, you start shading a shape which looks like a crescent, right? This is A but not B. Cover set B with your hand and start shading A. It's easy. The other one, A union B dash. The word union means in addition to. It means I'll shade the whole set A in addition to set A, everything outside B, but in the universal set. The whole set A, this one. Okay, this is the whole set A. Shade, 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 shade. Okay. In addition to set A, everything outside B, but in the universal set. Okay, cover B with your hand and start shading everything outside V, but in the universal set. It means that you will nearly shade the whole box except this white crescent, which is a part of B. This is A union B dash. Next, Feb March exam 2019. As you see, it is 0580 our code, and it is paper 4, variant 2. The question was, the Venn diagram shows two sets A and B. We call it Venn diagram. It's usually like a circle, like an oval, and you put the elements inside it, and you can read all relations and all operations, you can make them when this Venn diagram is already drawn. And sometimes you are asked to draw a Venn diagram from given information. The Venn diagram shows two sets A and B. Use set notation. Set notation, what does this mean? Set notation like subset, like intersection, like union, like element. We didn't learn about element and not element. I'll give you here an example. Set C, sorry, the element C is an element of set A. C is not an element of set B. So when you put slash, you say not element. In some books, they read it belongs. They say C belongs to set A and C does not belong to set B. So here is a question. Use set notation to complete the statement. D blank A. Take care, D is an element. So you should write either element or not element, but no curly brackets, not set, not subset. Now, D is an element of A. Yes, D is inside set A. It's an element of. We write this notation, which is element. It looks like a letter C with a small dash inside it. We read it D is an element of A. Okay, what about this one? F comma G in curly brackets equals something. F comma G, F comma G. Yes, we said it before. It looks like the convex lens, you remember? It is the intersection. It is the set of common elements. So how to write it? Like that. It is A intersection B. You heard me saying something about subset. I'll tell you. Now, the set of F and G is a subset of A. The set of F and G is a subset of B. It looks like a letter C, but it's long. But if you want to speak about the element F without curly brackets, you write F is an element of A, or also F is an element of B at the same time. Okay, what about the letter Q, the element Q? Q is not an element of set A, and also it's not an element of set B. Okay, we need to know something else. There is a set which is having C, D, E. Who will say this red area? What do we call it? C, D, E. Who remembers? It looks like a crescent. Who knows? It is A. When you cover B, you say A but not B. A but not B. A but not B. Another question. Complete the statement. N. What's this N? This N means number of elements of a set. This N means number of elements of a set is 6. You remember last question? It is the same. It's related. Now, number of elements of B is 6. Number of elements of A is 5. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you move on the borders of A, you count all elements inside it, it's 5. But set B, when you move on the borders, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the answer here is the letter B, capital B. Remember, the elements are small letters, and the name of the set is usually a capital letter. And also, there is this cursive letter E, which means the universal set that contains everything. It's the universe concerning a certain question. In the Venn diagram below, shade C but not D. We need to shade C but not D. C but not D. This part, yes. It is the set C, and you have to cover D and not shade it. Okay? Now, we have here more and more questions from the past papers. Let's solve them on the next video. Bye-bye.